Oh, what up, peeps? Y'all know who it is. Jake Torrance, a.k.a. Jakey Jake. I love saying that shit. Say it one more time. Jakey Jake. Like you pushing out a big turd, man. Jakey Jake. A.k.a. I much prefer you. I swear to God, I prefer you to call me Little Thony. I'm Little Thony. What's up, Pops? Double salute to the most certified real one I know. A.k.a. Jakey. The Cobra back. Snaky, man. Like, share, subscribe, follow to the kid, man. Today we talking about, man, dealing with death as you get older. Very, very serious, man. Dealing with death. You better learn how to deal with death, man, as you grow older. Because you're going to see, it's going to become, I'm going to say, more frequent no matter what. You know, life ain't, Father Time is undefeated, man. Ain't nobody never gave Father Time. If you think about it, we live, most of us, if you lucky, at your fullest, 100, right? Some people over 100, 105, 106, them is the very 1%. You lucky to see 90s nowadays, right? So you figure if you 50, 60, that the better part or over half your life has been spent, right? And dealing with death at a young age is different than dealing with death at an older age. I'm going to tell you why. At a younger age, somebody passes away, you don't quite have a grasp or understand death. Now, if it's a close one, I have friends and family members that have mothers and fathers die 6, 7, 8 years old. Although you don't really truly understand the full capacity of what's going on, although you will understand as you grow older. One thing I can say is you definitely will miss that person at that age tremendously. You definitely will feel the impact of their loss. But as you get older and you truly understand death, and it's happened to you over and over and over again. And look, most of us, once we become 40, 50, we're walking around with some type of piece of us that's gone, or pieces of us that's gone. Because no matter what you say, man, and I say at least 95% of people to 98% of people, when you lose someone, especially someone close, there's this disconnect with the world, man, for a while, and sometimes for longer than a while. Now, if you lose someone close, the disconnect is so tremendous. With me, I've had some pretty big losses in my lifetime, right? Recently, in the last 4 to 5 years, I lost my one-year-old grandson, 18 months, in a tragic drive, in some gang retaliation or street shit, where he would sleep at home, not at home, at his father's girlfriend's house. And some guys walked around the house, shot my 1-year-old, his twin brother. My other granddaughter was on the floor sleeping. Killed Ace Lucas, man. Double salute to a certified real one, man. My grandson, I miss him so much, man. Shot my other grandson, Arcel, who y'all see me running around and playing with on a lot of videos. He still has a 40 cal bullet that it went through one side and out the back of his leg. You know what I'm saying? Arcel took that bullet like a G, man. But my nephew, Darius Anthony Torrance, died 2 years later, man. 3 years later, on January 3rd, man, 2023, man. Very, very close. But these are just recent deaths that really, really helped me get a good grasp, the best grasp and understanding on death. And I want to share that with y'all because the disconnect that I'm talking about that came with that comes with a lot. I have no living grandparents, right? I've lost so many. I've lost a lot of close friends in the street shit. I lost some peers that good friends that I went to school with. I mean, we all have, right? But as you grow older, I'm going to tell y'all, man, if you don't learn pick a way to deal with death, it will kill you. The disconnect can become so crucial, and the missing that person can become so immense that it can overwhelm you. It breaks you down. And it's a lot of people walking around nowadays that I see that just ain't the same. Via dealing with life that hit them, and via dealing with a lot of deaths, close deaths that hit them. I've got cousins that had lost. When you lose a mother, I'm going to say this, man. One thing about it, I'm so grateful to have my mother and father still living. But one thing I do, so I don't know the actual pain of it. You know what I'm saying? But I can just imagine. You never know what somebody, you never know it until you actually go through it. But just the thought of it crumbles me, man. I had some first cousins. I lost some aunts in the last 4 to 5 years, man. Some real close aunts, my mom's sisters. I lost some uncles and aunts in the past 5 years. My father's brothers, my mom's sisters. That practically helped raise me. That was a big part of our life. We all lose these type of people, right? But what you see is when it takes its toll after person, after person, after person, after person, especially when you get older. I'm 50 years old, man, and I done seen a lot and been through a lot, right, in my time. And death was hard for me to deal with for the longest. Still is, man. Hard enough to the point where, you know, I started seeing my uncles and aunts pass away, and I'm like, man, I really honestly started taking, like with my father, I started spending less time with my father, just thinking, this is my mind state, you know what I'm saying, about 8, 9, 10 years ago. My father was going through cancer, amputated one leg, single amputee, you know what I'm saying, has one leg amputated, has fought cancer twice. And, you know, it always, in the back of your mind, you be so scared when shit like this is happening, when the loved one is going through fighting a disease or fighting life for the life, literally, via circumstances, man. So what I did, man, after my father got well and passed the cancer, the first time me and my pops used to go fishing all the time. I would be over my pops' house a lot, go visit him a lot. What I found myself doing, because I'm telling myself that, man, maybe it ain't gonna hurt so bad. I stopped actually really hanging around my father as much and doing things with my father, thinking, man, maybe if I stop hanging around him so much and being up under him so all the time, that maybe when he passed away, that it won't hurt me so bad. I won't miss him so much. And that's just the complete opposite, man. I figure out that's the wrong route to take, man. You want to take every chance that you can get, every last second with your living loved ones, especially if you got a living mother and father, man. You want to squash all the shit that, if y'all had a bad relationship in the past, if you feel like they wasn't there for you as a childhood. My wife is going through this same thing with her father, man. He wasn't the best father. And when me and my wife first got together, she never really had good things to say about her father, her or her brothers, because he wasn't in their life much. He got another wife and had some more kids, and they felt like that he was in their lives more than what he was in the other kids' life, more than what he was in their lives. And I remember I first got together, my wife never had nothing good to say. When we just boyfriend and girlfriend, this was over 30 plus years ago. Been married for 25 years, together for almost 35. But she would always never, her brothers, anytime her dad's name was brought up, or the mom would say your dad was coming to town, or he pop up in town, they say he outside, and they would have this look like, oh. Now over the years, man, my wife and her father has become so close. She adores the man. Now she lost her mother, her road dog, her everything, right? And I see to this day, my wife lost her mother probably about 6 or 7 years ago, and my wife just never will be the same, right? I've had first cousins that lost their mother and fathers and stuff like that. They'll never be the same. When you get this disconnect, and when you lose people so close to you, bro, it's almost like you literally walk around for the rest of your life with parts of you gone, right? Literally. I know when I had to literally tell myself, I cried so much about my grandson and my nephew and these recent deaths. I had to literally, a couple years ago, I had to tell myself, just to ease the pain and just to try to really, really come to an understanding with myself. Crying upstairs, I used to hate being home by myself. That's why I got heavier into the personal training, especially during the daytime. I keep my days so busy, because if I got downtime, right, especially when I'm home alone, I used to hate going home alone after my grandson died, or after my nephew, because this was downtime for me to sit down and think about it, and I would just sit and cry. I'm talking about 8, 9, 10 times a day. I would just sit and cry all day long. Not even so depressed mode, just missing them. Just can't even believe it. Shell shocked that they're gone, right? Once you get past that stage and I'm still crying, I had to literally tell myself, Jake, Ace is never coming back. I had to tell myself this, literally. Darius is never coming back. All the crying, all you can miss him. You can cry. You can want him so bad. Like I just wanted to touch people. I get my spells where I think about my Aunt Regina. I'll think about my Aunt Hattie. I'll think about my Uncle Richard or my Uncle Timmy. I mean, my Uncle Richard's still alive. I'm sorry. My Uncle Timmy, my Uncle Alfred. And I just want to touch. It's parts of them. I hear a song or I hear somebody, my Aunt Bernita, my Grandma Dump, my Grandma Pat. You know what I'm saying? I think about these people, man, and I get in these spells where I literally will go crazy in the mind. I used to, wanting to see him, wanting to say something to him, wanting to touch him. Like, could not get my mind off of this for nothing. And it would depress, I would be in the depressed state, and it would leave me in the depressed state for days, to the point where a sad song, I couldn't listen to sad or slow music. You know what I'm saying? Certain things would just trigger me, and it just pouring out in the tears, man. So I had to learn, I had to say that, man, I'm not handling this death stuff not well at all, man. Like, it's just something I would never get equipped to, man. I see people, other people's family members, friends, family, man, I cry for days. I pray for them, bro, every day. When somebody died, man, I literally break down in tears, man. But the thing I try to do now, one is keep myself so busy, man, throughout my days. My days are so long and so busy and so, you know what I'm saying, timed out and planned out, that I'm exhausted when I get home. I don't have time to sit and think and dwell on these type of things, because I be thinking about, man, my mom and them getting old. My father is getting old, man. How am I going to deal with it? And it started stressing me out, man. It started stressing me out to the point where I'm living like, man, I'm doing more time of the day, sometimes 3-4 hours a day if you add it all up, thinking about what if and when, and wishing people back, and wondering, you know what I'm saying, about heaven and God and what they doing up there, and knowing that they watching me, man. So what I had to start doing, man, and what you start doing, if it's breaking, it was breaking me down in a way where it was affecting me physically. You can tell. Mentally, my days wasn't clear, my mind wasn't clear, because I would have this on my mind, especially with my grandson, man, and my nephew. My nephew died of a seizure, man. He was epileptic, man. Died in his sleep a couple days after New Year's, man, 2023, man. And he had just been at the house, him and my brother, man, his son, had just been at the house for New Year's and came back through the house. They went and kicked it for New Year's, Columbus, and went to from Columbus to my mom's house, and came back through before they went back to my brother's house in Columbus. So I seen my nephew, like, literally day. We kicked it, toasted it up for the New Year's, came back through, hugged him, told him I love him, gave him the tightest hug that we had ever gave each other, man. And then the next day he passed away, man. Fell asleep in his sleep that night, man. That shit hit me hard, man. When people die before that ain't supposed to die before you, a nephew, a child. This is the stuff that people, anything, a sibling, this is the stuff that people go through, and so many people look past, man, especially older people. People is missing people, man. People has this disconnect with the world, this disconnect with other people, man. People is missing their loved ones dearly, man, and everybody is going through this, man. I don't know, not one person that not dealing with death, young or old. But when you get older and you got to deal with this stuff, and you know that you just seen somebody aunt die, and you know you just might have had a mother and father die, aunties die, you got friends and peers who haven't taken the best care of themselves, steady passing, man. I've had a cousin, my cousin Roland Torrance. They found him asleep, passed away in his sleep. Another friend, Melvin Ellis, longtime friend, they found him, he passed away, man, today. Now I'm steady dealing with people, friends, cousins dying, and I ain't even fully got over my nephew, and nowhere near getting over my grandson being tragically killed, man. So what I got to do, man, I started living through these people, man. Instead of feeling so sorry and feeling down on myself, I did two things, man. I started living through people. I started realizing and remembering all the things that they love to do and what the songs they like to do, whether if it's songs, music, or if it's hobbies, or if it's something that created happiness in their life and positivity. And I started moving, like doing the things that if my nephew, he loved to sit around and laugh and crack jokes, and his smile was $1 million smile, man. $1 million smile, man. So when I get down and I think about my nephew, I just think about some of the jokes and some of the smiles and some of the good times we had without putting all of the sad things in my mind, man. Yeah, you're going to have times, man, where it's going to break down and shit going to make you sad and shit going to make you not want to disconnect. It's going to make you not want, it's going to make it hard to cope, man. No matter, I don't give a fuck if it's a fresh death. It could be somebody that's been dead 15, 20 years and it's still affecting you, man. The same way some deaths you just don't get over, man. If it's a child, if it's a mother, if a father, these are the parts when pieces of you just leaving, man. You getting older, but you ain't no full person, man. You ain't connected all the way. Every time you lose somebody, the disconnect becomes greater and greater, especially if you're losing your mother, your father. You getting older, you in your 60s, 70s. You had a 6-person family. Now 4 of them don't pass away. It's only you and your sister left. Moms, dad, brothers, and all them gone. It might be to the point where you was the last living person in your original family, man. It's so many people out here like that. Mother gone, grandmother's gone, grandparents gone, mother's, father's gone, sisters, brothers gone. You know what I'm saying? All they got is their kids, but in their original first family, everybody gone but them, man. Imagine the feeling. And then you got people still dying, peers, family members still dying, man, as you coping with this, man. You got to live through the people, man. You got to think positive. You got to think of all the things that they love to do and when did they do it. If they liked to sing a song with it for them, man. If they liked to, I don't care if they liked to shoot pool, go have a couple shots with them, man. You know, do the things that they liked to do, man. And for 2, I just always stay busy, man, to keep my mind, whenever those thoughts hit my head, those sad thoughts, man. I live through them, and 2, I try to keep myself busy enough, and it always seems to work for me, man. You deal in different ways, but what I'm saying is you have to find a way to deal with it, or it's going to show. Not only is we getting old and we going to break down and bodies going to break down and everything get bald and all of that's going to happen. But when you put this extra stress and this extra burden and you walk around with all these pieces missing from you, you walk around with this disconnect, it shows, man. And I can look at a lot of people, man. I can just see my cousins. I can see the hurt. They ain't never been the same. A couple of them lost their mothers. And we sit and laugh and smile and some days, but the laugh ain't the same and the smile. Deep inside, you can just see how bad they missing that person, man. Husbands, wives passing, man. I got friends that had long, loving marriages, man, and one of the wives passed and stuff like that, man. So it's tough to deal with death, man. But when you're getting older, you have to find a way to deal with it in a manner that makes you keep connected, right, with everyone and try to keep connected. Well, there's going to be a disconnect, right? But in a manner to keep you positive, in a manner to keep you looking and feeling to where the weight of the world ain't on your shoulders and the stress is showing all over your face, man. And the stress, and you ain't reacting and dealing with the stress on other people, right? Because a lot of people make their bad day into other people's bad day. And a lot of people's bad days, I'm telling you, man, I know for a fact, it's from missing people that they love, from this disconnect they having from missing people that they love, and just wanting people back, loved ones, man. I go through it every day, man. I think about my nephew. I think about my aunties. I think about my grandma, my grandpa. I think about my grandson every single day, man. It ain't a day that to go by that I don't think about it, man. Dealing and coping with it, I've got so much better in this past year, man. And these is the ways that I got better, man. Live through them. Think positive, man. Don't let yourself get down. Whatever they like to do, if it was a smile, if it was a laugh, if they sung, if they had a hobby. And my dad, if my uncles, they love to fish. Whenever I get down and think about my Uncle Alfred, I think about some great times we had on the fishing bank. Or I'll go fishing, man, and just cast a line out and think, hey, man, this one is for Unc, man. And it make me feel so much better. It's an uplifting feeling, a joyous feeling, instead of that sad, that stress, that depressed feeling, man. It makes a big difference, man. Find you a way to deal with death, especially as you get older, man. Don't let it wear you down. It's part of life, man. And when you find a way and you talk to that man upstairs to guide you, and always know, man, time heals most things. It don't hurt as bad as time goes on. This too shall pass, man. I promise you, man. But find you a way to deal with death when you get older. Via live through the people. Think of good moments, positive moments, good times, good parts of y'all relationships that y'all had, and wipe out all the negativity, any negative or bad stuff that y'all might have had and went through it, or if y'all left on bad terms, or y'all didn't get a chance to mend or get y'all relationship, and somebody suddenly passed, man. Don't dwell on that, man. Dwell on the good times. Dwell on knowing that the fact that you're going to see him again one day, right? Dwell on the fact I always remind myself this, man. This is big to me. They watching. All my people is watching, and I can't let them down, and I won't let them down, man. That's the reason why, the main reason why I go so hard, why I keep my days busy, why I try to be respect and do well for others, why I try to help and train others and motivate others and make people better every day, man. The main reason, man, is for my people up there, because I know they watching me, man. Like, share, subscribe, follow. Learn how to deal with death. Learn how to cope with death. It's going to be so much easier when you get older. And I've just now learned and started practicing this myself in the last year and a half. Because like I said, when this shit first happened to me, I was a mess. 8, 9, 10, crying all day long here at work, behind machines, upstairs in my room. We're at the workout place, man. Non-stop, man. Until I got a grasp on it, fully understood, and said, man, these people ain't never coming back. You ain't gonna never see them again, no matter how much you cry, Jake, no matter how much you miss them, how much you want them. Only next time you see them, you're gonna be in the same place where they at, man. When you get that understanding and you put them positive thoughts, them positive moments, and live through them, knowing they always watching, bro, watch how much how much easier it is for you to handle these type things, this death situation, man. Like, share, subscribe, follow, man. We coming back tomorrow, man, with a completely different subject. I want to talk about the best fighters, man, out here, or is it the best fighters inside, behind them bars? Because I don't see both, and I'm going to give y'all my opinion. Like, share, subscribe, follow, man. Jakey, the Cobra-back Snaky, man. Y'all know who I am. I'm going to tell y'all once again. It's Jakey J.